Whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're ready.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your Social Security. Okay, so Social Security has 3 different programs: retirement, disability, and survivor. And the principles are that it's based on your work and career earnings. It's a weighted benefits formula. Participation is mandated by law through your contributions, and your benefits are payable as a matter of right. You have put into this program, you'll get out of it, something out of it, hopefully. Okay. So these are just some average numbers to show you. For 2014, a maximum benefit at full retirement age. And there's a chart, and we'll get to that to show you what your full retirement age, which is different from your minimum retirement age. But a maximum benefit at full retirement age was $26.42. Average retiree benefit was $12.94. For an average retired couple, they were getting $21.11. Average widower was getting $12.43. And average disabled worker was $11.48. We talked about before, you put into Social Security taxes, OASDI, Old Age Disability and Survivor, or Old Age Survivor and Disability Insurance, 6.2%, and then an extra 1.45% goes for Medicare. And like I said, that 7.65% gets paid on the first $117,000 that you make. Once you reach that threshold, they don't take any more Social Security taxes out. It's the 6.2% that you pay on that. You pay the 1.5% always, no matter what your salary gets to.
So that's what the employee pays, but the employer also has to pay that too. So
yeah, there's more that the employer pays in. Okay. And the way you become eligible for your Social Security is to have 40 credits. Basically 10 years. You have to have paid into the system for 10 years. Credits are based on your earnings. We used to call them quarters for each quarter that you worked, so you could get a maximum of 4 quarters per year. Now they call them credits, and they do it on earnings, that you have to earn at least $1,200 to get a credit. So technically, you could probably get all 4 of your credits in the first 3 months of the year, because you can only get a maximum of 4 credits per year. You can apply as early as 62, but that is a permanently reduced benefit. It's about 75% of what your full amount would be. Once you get to your full retirement age, it is an unreduced benefit. And you can get an extra credit if you want to keep working beyond your full retirement age. Up until 70. You can earn up to 8% per year more. So you could conceivably get 108, 116% of what they say if you want to continue working beyond your full retirement age.
What's the full retirement age then?
Is that on our next? There we go.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the year you were born.
Okay.
When my husband started his extra job after retirement, I told him he had to work to his full retirement age. And at the time, we thought it was 65, and then I checked the chart, and it's 66.
So, pardon me, if the average full retirement is approximately $2,600, then partial retirement at 62, you said it's around 75% of that 2,600.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I keep saying about working beyond your full retirement age. It's not working. It's applying. If you wait to apply for your Social Security beyond your full retirement age. So when my husband applies at, he'll apply at 66 and get 100% of his Social Security. But if we can hold off even longer for him to apply for it, then he could start getting more, up to 8% per year, up until age 70 is when that extra stops accumulating.
To your knowledge, then, anyone that doesn't meet that 40 credit requirement, they can't receive any benefit.
The question is, if you don't have your 40 credits, then you can't apply for Social Security, and that is correct. You have to have the 40 credits to be eligible at any age. I mean, 62 or beyond.
What about if you had a spouse who worked and you didn't, let's just say, then you would still be eligible for their Social Security, or a portion of theirs?
If you had a spouse that was getting some, or would be eligible?
Right.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, that's, you could, yeah.
Didn't know that.
The best thing, and we've got some more slides and some more information, but Social Security is its own agency, and there's a lot of things. We're not Social Security experts. If you really have a lot of questions, I would advise you to contact them, go in and get some counseling with them, and talk with them about your benefits. We can give you the basics. So here's this earnings limitation again that would affect your FERS supplement. It could also affect your Social Security income if you start collecting your Social Security and then decide to get another and work as well. So you can collect Social Security and still be working. But it's that same earnings limitation that applies to your FERS supplement. You can earn up to $15,480 a year without any penalty, but anything over that, you're going to get penalized. $1 for each $2 you're over that limit. Then once you get to the year that you're going to reach your full retirement age, that ceiling goes up to $41,400. And then if you're making more than that, then they're only going to charge you $1 for each $3 over that amount. And then once you reach your full retirement age, there is no earnings limitation. This I do not believe applies to FERS, Social Security spouse and survivor. See, and this is where I apologize to you. Like I said, they're their own agency with a lot of programs and a lot of things to know. But the government pension offset affects spouse and survivor benefits. And if it basically is for government employees who don't pay Social Security taxes. So this and the next slide also does not apply to, I think the next slide is going to be the windfall. Yeah. And this does not affect FERS employees at all. So we're going to go. Yes.
Although I know CRS does not pay into Social Security, but if they had a spouse or a former spouse, they will receive a portion of that former spouse's Social Security.
Yeah, the question
It's
is,
automatic, I mean, that doesn't affect the, FERS employee, like.
no, it doesn't affect the FERS employee, but CSRS employees, and that's what this government pension offset and the windfall elimination, those provisions affect CSRS employees and spouses and survivors and former spouses. Yeah, they're,
What exactly is that? Because it says a FERS, I was a FERS. I was a CSRS that changed over to FERS. At the bottom there. I have a CSRS.
you're gonna have a CSRS component?
So what exactly is
Um,
this one here then?
I'd have to do some researching. It could, what I think this does is reduce your social security from the, a little, not, you'd have to talk to social security really to find out. But I think what this does is it affects your social security on the years that you were CSRS that you were not paying into social security. So now you're getting a social security benefit, and those years are kind of sort of counting,
Okay,
but you weren't contributing,
I got you.
so they're going to deduct some because of that. Because they're paying you based on all the years,
Okay.
but they're going to take back some because you didn't pay in for all those years.
Okay. 5 years.
So what you want to do, if you haven't already, as you know, Social Security doesn't mail your statements anymore. So you want to go onto their website, www.ssa.gov, and set up an account, and you can look at your statements to,
Okay.
to see what you're going to be getting. And
Susan,
yes,
one thing, once you set up your account, if I remember right, there's some pretty good tools on the website. They will actually take your history and compute what you will actually get
right,
based on when you retire or you take it.
yeah. They have a calculator that you can plug in different things, and yeah, they've got a lot of good information on their website. Yes?
I don't know if this is something Ravos runs, but there's an FHR Navigator,
Mhm.
CEP, that's also a great resource. Yeah.
And that's one of Jeff's,
Yes.
he's our administrator. Yep, so when you ever have trouble logging in, that's who you call. And if we have time at the end of the session, he's gonna give a little demonstration. So hopefully we will have time. So,
Get reduced.
so as I said, you really, I mean, go and look at your statement. If you have any particular circumstances, the lady here with the CSRS component, you might want to, and once you go onto their website and their calculator and look at your statement, it should allow for that. But I would suggest you go in and talk with them. They suggest you apply for your benefits 4 months before you want them to begin. And there's their toll-free number, and you can apply for your benefits online. You don't have to go in. Okay. All right, TSP. Yay. All right. So, we'll cover a little bit of what's going on with you now. As you know, you can contribute up to a maximum of $17,500 for 2014. New employees, they're automatic, when it came around, it was optional whether you wanted to participate or not. New employees now are automatically signed up at 1%. Are they? No. 3%. They're automatically signed up at 3%. But then you got the agency matching, you got the automatic 1%, and then the agency matching. CSRS, they don't get anything matching for them. There's the automatic.
If they set the limit for 2015,
Have not heard anything yet on the 2015 limits. That usually comes out October, November. It should be coming out soon. Should be coming out soon. You can make catch-up contributions. If you're at least 50 and will have contributed the maximum amount for the year, you can put in an extra $5,500 for 2014. Now, on your regular contributions, that just keeps on going until you make changes to it. For the catch-up contributions, you have to sign up for that each year. It is only good for that 1 year. So what you want to do is have it effective pay period 26 usually, because that works on when the money actually gets put in. So when we get paid for pay period 26 in 2014 is actually 2015 tax year. So you want to do it ahead of time. So you can now choose between two different ways of putting your money in. Traditional, which would be pre-taxed, or you can put it into a Roth, where they take the taxes out now, so that when you start taking that money out, it's already been taxed. All the different, yes?
Quick question. Is it true if you hit the 17.5 before the last pay period, the agency stops matching?
The question is, if you hit the 17.5 limit before the end of the year, does the agency contributions stop? Yes. And that's why they tell you, they advise you to make sure that whatever you're doing, that you're going to stretch it out for the whole year, that somehow you do lose out on the matching or the agency one. And somehow you lose out on money if you hit that limit before the end of the year. These are all the different funds that you can put the money in. Life cycle funds, where you just sign up for the L fund, and the L fund actually distributes your money amongst all of the other funds. You pick the year that you want it to mature, usually whatever closest to when you're going to retire. And as you start getting closer to retirement, the system starts putting your money in the less risky funds. Making your contributions, you can change them, stop them, start them anytime. There used to be time limits. If you stopped it, you had to wait X amount of times. Your elections can be done in whole dollars or a percentage of your salary. And you control where your money, what accounts your money goes, and how much goes into each one. When you do move things around, limited interfund transfers. You go onto the website, you have your account, you do everything online. You can take out loans, two types of loans. You can have one of each going at the same time. A general purpose loan would run for 1 to 5 years that you'd have to have it paid back. Residential loan up to 15 years. Your payments, you pay yourself back because you're basically borrowing your own money and paying yourself back. So you do it through payroll deduction. Spousal consent if you're married. Now, when you retire, if you have not paid back your loan, the unpaid balance will be treated as taxable income. Now, when you retire, because my husband, he had a loan, had like a $2,000 balance when he retired. Because once you retire, you can't make any more contributions to your TSP account. You still have access to it. You can still move the money around to the different accounts, but you just can't put any more contributions in it. So, once he retired, TSP sent a letter, and they give you the choice. You can either pay yourself back, or they gave him till February. If they didn't receive an answer by February, it was going to be reported as taxable income. So since it was into the 2015 year, we opted to just, $2,000 isn't going to make or break us. So, but it will be your unpaid balance if you don't pay it back within their time frame. It will be reported to the IRS as taxable income.
What's the interest rate?
That you're paying yourself back, whatever the interest is on the fund that you're paying it into. Yes. Yes.
Quick question. I understand you can't make any contributions to TSP once you retire, but my understanding is I thought you could roll money into your account after you retire, like from another IRA or something like that. It's according to the website.
Okay, the question is, can you still roll money into your TSP account?
Not contributions.
Not,
money,
right,
the
like
salary.
from an IRA, from a different IRA or, I'd have to check on that. I'm not sure.
You
Because
could certainly do it before you retire.
Yeah, I know you can do it before you retire. But I don't know about doing it after you retire. I would think you could, but I'd have to check on that.
Question.
Okay. In-service withdrawals, we're gonna skip over this. This is, you all here to find out what you can do with it after you retire. I'm sorry, did somebody want me to go over that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, while you're still working, you can take, this is different from a loan. These are withdrawals that would just deplete your account. You would not pay these back, your balance would just be lower, so you would have less money available when you retired. You can do it age-based, you'd have to be 59 and a half or older, and you can make a one-time withdrawal of any or all of your vested account balance, which would be money you've put in. You could not take out any of the agency's money. Or you could do it on a financial hardship. And if you do a financial hardship, then your contributions are suspended for 6 months before you can start putting money back in. Okay. Now, when you retire, there are lots of different ways to get your money out. And my best advice to you is to go to TSP's website. There's a brochure called Withdrawing Your Account After Leaving Federal Service. They have a calculator out there. And, you can take the whole thing out if you want. You don't have to do anything with it as soon as you retire. The first time you have to do something is when you're 70 and a half. If you have not taken anything out, you have to do something then. You can do a partial withdrawal of at least $1,000 or full withdrawal options. You can do a single payment. You can set up monthly payments. You can, like I said, their calculator is great. If you know how much you're going to need per month, you plug it into their calculator, and their calculator will tell you how long your account's going to take you. Or if you don't know, you're kind of up in the air on the amount, but you know how long you want your money to last, then you would plug in the time frame, and it will tell you how much you would get per month. Or you can do a life annuity. And there's different ways of doing the life annuity. Now, you would purchase the life annuity through them. There would be a cost for it. I don't know what the costs are. It's probably a percentage of your account balance. There's some annuities that it's a gradual decrease in it each year. It starts out high, and I guess they figure as you're getting older, your expenses aren't as much. And then there's one that it stays level, and it's called a life expectancy annuity, and it's based on how long they think you're going to live. And if you happen to outlive it, even if you have gotten all your money out, it will continue to pay you. But they're very generous with how long they think you're going to live. I did this once, and it told me I was going to live till I was 111. Yes.
But what you're talking about, there's no survivor benefits, right?
On some of these options, there are survivor benefits as well. So that's why I'm saying the best thing for you to do is look at that. There's a lot of different ways for you to get your money out and to allow for a survivor as well. That booklet, withdrawing your TSP account after leaving federal service, is excellent. Mixed withdrawal options, you can do part of it in an annuity, part of it in where you specify the terms. Now, there have been questions in other seminars, especially with Leos, and being able, because everybody says, oh, I can't touch it till I'm 59 and a half. Well, no, not exactly, and that's why one of the handouts in your brochure is the tax information. On page 7 of that is a little chart of different scenarios of how you can take your money out without getting that extra 10% penalty. They're always going to tax it depending on whether you've done traditional or Roth. But they've allowed for somewhat, you would have to do some type of an annuity. You would not get that extra 10% penalty if you separate during or after the year you turn 56, I believe. 55? Yeah. So if you're someone that's being able to retire at your minimum retirement age, the MRA plus 30, and you needed to tap into your TSP, you could do that without being hit with that extra 10% early withdrawal penalty. The Roth distribution rules, this is where you've already paid the taxes on it, but you had to have been in the program for 5 years. And I think for the Roth, what's in that tax applies to the traditional. For this to be taxed, well, they would be tax-free. It says after attaining age 59 and a half, meet the 5-year rule, and that the 10% early withdrawal penalty applies to earnings. Okay. These are some of the circumstances that you would get with that 10% withdrawal penalty. We talked about how you could avoid that. And this is more about avoiding that penalty. But there's that booklet. That's the form, TSP 70, to get, if you're married, your spouse, there's a spousal consent form that needs, not only does your spouse's signature get notarized, but your signature gets notarized too.
Where did you get that booklet?
On TSP's website.
Yes, we did.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you can get all the forms you need on their website as well. Oh, I almost did it. All right, we'll cover life insurance. Okay. Real quick, there's 4 parts to the FEGLI life insurance. You've got your basic coverage, which is your salary, rounded up to the nearest 1,000 plus 2,000. And then you've got 4 optional, and you were automatically enrolled in basic when you started your federal career. And you keep it unless you cancel it. Any of the options, you would have to fill out a form 2817 to pick up any of the options, either during open seasons, which for FEGLI are few and far between. The last one was in 2004. There are no regular open seasons for life insurance. If you didn't pick up any options when you were first